What is up, backpackers? I hope everyone's doing great. Today we are looking at the Durston X-Dome 1 Plus, which I have only used a couple of nights, but so far I absolutely love this thing. I've been using the Durston X Mid 2 for a long time now, and I really wanted a freestanding tent, so as soon as this came out, I really wanted to get my hands on it, and now that I do, I am super stoked. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to get this thing set up, and then we'll go ahead and talk about some of the specs and what makes this thing so great. Let's do it. All right, this bag is just stakes and the tent poles, so we're gonna set that off to the side right now. And then as you guys can see, I've got my inner and my outer attached right now. Because I've used the tent before, I like to just leave them together. It's a little bit easier to pitch that way, but you can pitch this either fly first or inner first. So if it is raining outside, you can pitch the rain fly first. That way you can set up the rest of your tent with protection from the weather so all of your gear doesn't get wet. But personally, if I know that I'm gonna be using the rain fly, I just leave it all together. The nice thing with this that is different than the X Mid is you can only pitch the inner and leave the rain fly off altogether. So if it's a really nice night and you want to do some stargazing, you are able to do so, which I think is pretty sweet, and I'm looking forward to doing that. Maybe tonight, actually. We'll see how it goes. Now, another difference between this tent and the X Mid 2 is there is only one door on this, and the inside of the tent is not symmetrical. One side is larger than the other. It kind of tapers off to make more room for your vestibule. So it's not a big deal, especially since it's freestanding. You can kind of turn it after you pitch it, but you do have to be careful, especially with the inner and the outer. Make sure you're just pitching everything the right direction, and you have the door facing the way that you want, since there is only one. Now, the tent poles themselves are carbon fiber, and they are extremely light. They almost feel flimsy, honestly, but I've never had any worries about this thing not holding up on me. Everything really can only attach one way, so it is pretty easy and intuitive to get this thing put together. All right, looking good. And then I like to just put in all the four corners first. I don't know how well you can see this, but there's just a little hole in the corner of that inner you can slide the tent pole into, and you'll do that obviously for all four corners. Now that we've got the inner and outer attached on all four corners, now we can go ahead and start clipping up the tent. All right, and then once you have enough of the clips in, you can go ahead and attach this crossbar, which is pretty much the same thing as the bottom corner attachments, where it's just this little silver circle here. So it's just one on either side. Gives you some more headroom inside the tent and gives it a little bit more structure. We'll go ahead and stake this down since it is a little windy out right now. Take this in real quick for the vestibule. All right, guys, and that is it. As you can see, it is a super quick and easy setup. And don't forget, there are vents on either side as well, so you can open these up, and then it's just a little Velcro piece inside to get some airflow in there, and then the same thing already open on the other side as well. All right, I'll go ahead and open this up, show you guys the inside a bit. So this side, obviously, we've got our vestibule. And this guy we can just roll up nice and tight. And they've got the lovely little magnetic clips here to keep that nice and out of the way. All right, now the inner door is different than the one on the X Mids because it is two doors. So one will zip out this way, and then you'll zip up the top as well. Go ahead and roll this one up too, get it out of the way. So if you want, you can open this entire door here, and you've got plenty of space. Say it's raining outside and you want to kind of just hang out, have a little bit more room, especially if you want to do some cooking or something like that. You can close down this fly, have this entire door open, plenty of room to do some cooking. Your gear is dry, you're dry, your food is dry, and you are nice and happy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get my sleep system set up in here, and then I'll go ahead and bring you guys in to give you a quick tour of the inside. All right, guys, I got my sleep system in here, and this is a 25-inch wide mattress. It's the Zenbivy Ultralight mattress. So as you can see, plenty of room up by the head for extra gear and such. And then it kind of tapers off down towards the feet, which is what gives you that extra room for your vestibule. So that's why I mentioned when setting it up, you do want to think about which way is going to be your head and which way is going to be your feet. That way you've got more space and your feet are at the tapered end by the vestibule. As you can see up above the head area, You do have a really large mesh pocket up here, which is where I will keep all of my extra bags. And you also have a pocket on the side there, which is where I'll usually keep like my bear spray, knife, headlamp, stuff like that I want really easily accessible. And these are the only 2 pockets in the tent, which is another reason why you want to make sure that you are sleeping with your head facing the wide end. All right, now that you've had the little tour, let's go ahead and get down and dirty and dive into some of the specs here. First one, and probably one of the most important, is the weight. This tent comes in at 34.6 ounces, so just a little bit over 2 pounds, which is really incredible for a freestanding tent like this. The X-Mid 2 that I had, which is granted an older version, and I know they've knocked the weight down a little bit since then, but the version that I have is also just slightly over 2 pounds. I think it's maybe 2 ounces lighter than this one. So for an extra 2 ounces, having a fully freestanding tent versus a trekking pole tent, I think makes a world of difference and is 100% worth it. And that leads me into the second thing, which is price. This tent comes in right around $400, which I think is a very reasonable and respectable price for a tent like this. A lot of tents out there that you find fully freestanding at this weight are closer to the $700 or $800 price point. So getting this guy at $400, I know it's still pretty expensive, but for the quality, weight, and the fully freestanding, I think that it's honestly kind of a steal. Now, I know they have a couple different variations of this tent, which will change the price a little bit. I know they make like a short pole version, which makes it a little bit easier for you to fit it inside your pack. And they also have a solid version where the mesh is more of a solid material. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is or what the material is, but I know that that will change the price a little bit depending on what you get as far as that goes. But no matter what, it'll be pretty close to that $400 price point, which I think is pretty good. The last thing I'm going to touch on is the materials. Both the fly and the floor are made out of a 15 denier sil poly. And as I kind of touched on before, the tent poles themselves are made out of a carbon fiber. So everything on this tent is extremely lightweight, but also super durable. I haven't been in anything too extreme as far as weather conditions go, but I'm fairly confident that I can take this pretty much anywhere, and I'm not going to have to worry about a thing. So all in all, I am super stoked about this tent. I've been using the X-Mid 2 for about 2 years now, and I absolutely love that tent as well. I will still be bringing that with me on my cross-country road trip, just in case I ever am backpacking with another person and need a 2-person tent. I will use that. But if it's just me backpacking by myself, I will definitely be taking this one every single time. I still love the X-Mid 2, don't get me wrong, but this thing is just amazing. I love the freestanding tent. Way easier to set up, a lot less of a headache, and I am just super excited to take this on a lot more journeys. But that is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I appreciate you all watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this and you want to see more like it. But until next time, thank you all for watching, and happy hiking.